My very, very dear ones, words cannot do justice. Language itself is so inadequate. Song and poetry cannot touch those heights. Artistic expressions are not capable of depicting the divine phenomenon of the life of our most beloved Dada. He lived in this world as one amongst us. He walked with us, he moved with us, he talked to us. How happy we felt when we were in his presence, how peaceful we felt just being around him. Living in this world, he was pure and unsullied. He was so humble, yet he had practical wisdom. There was a sense of detachment. He was full of detachment, but yet he was so compassionate. And he had a grasp of everything, but yet his life was colored with simplicity. From his very childhood, he came across as a very special child, adorable, loved by all. But from his very childhood, he came across as an evolved soul. Whoever saw him, they felt happy. They felt a strange peace within them. My very dear friends, as I said, since his childhood, he was very unique. He would love to spend his time in silence. Whenever he had an opportunity, he would close his eyes and enter into the depths that were within him, and he would ask himself so many questions. Why am I here? What is the purpose of my visit to this earth plane? One day, his mother, seeing him in a contemplative mood, she asks him, "My child, what are the thoughts that you think sitting in silence?" And this little child, what does he answer? He says, "Ma, I wonder what is the purpose of my life? I question, why have I come here?" The mother is wonderstruck at the child's spiritual awareness. But just to pacify him, she says to him, "My child, when you grow up, you will discover answers to these questions." But within her heart, she is sure that this child has been born to fulfill a very special purpose. The seed of the divine has been sown in him since his very childhood. As I said, from his childhood, he loved to be aloof. He loved to spend time with himself. In beloved Dada's house, in the living room, the wall of the living room was always adorned with pictures of great ones of humanity. And this little child, whenever he got an opportunity, he would go and gaze at those pictures. He would look at those pictures with love, with reverence, and he would engage himself in a conversation. For him, they were not pictures, they were real entities. He would go to them, speak to them lovingly. Whenever he had a question, he would run to them, and he received answers from them. Whenever his family members slipped out of the house, what did he do? He would take a picture, bring it down, hold it in his little hands and hug the picture, and then engage himself in an intimate conversation with those pictures. And as I said, he received replies from them. My very dear ones, that is why since his childhood, he had a link with all these great ones. And he always implored mothers, he urged them that as mothers, it is your responsibility to see that in your house there are portraits of great ones of humanity, so that your children grow up in that atmosphere. Since from their childhood, children establish a link of love with these great ones, they develop that relationship with these great ones, for it is this relationship that ultimately counts. As a student, he was brilliant and he excelled in every task that he undertook. But he was not cold hearted. Not only was he kind and compassionate, but he went a step further. He identified himself with the pain, the suffering of another. I recall a very touching incident from his childhood. Beloved Dada's father passed away when Beloved Dada was only 11 years old, and his mother impressed on him that as the eldest son of the family, he was responsible for the well-being of the entire family. So this little child, just imagine, he would get up every night in the middle of the night and take a round around the house just to see if everything was fine, if everyone was sleeping peacefully and happily. One day, as he is taking his usual round, he sees a shadow in the balcony. What does he do? Fearlessly, he opens the door of the porch that leads to the porch of the house. And what does he see? He sees a man curled up. He walks up to that man and he recognizes him. He finds out that it is the watchman. And the watchman says to him, "This biting cold I cannot bear. I thought I will seek little respite in this veranda, in this porch." Child Dada gave him a thoughtful look and he entered the house. But what does he do? He picks up his cardigan and he says this cardigan will not fit him. Then he takes a scissor and he takes the blanket which he was using and he makes a hole in the center of the blanket. Quietly he goes again out into the porch, into the balcony, and he places the blanket on the head of the watchman and it fits him as a perfect poncho. The watchman has tears in his eyes and he gratefully thanks him and he tells him, "I know when you grow up, you will be a burden bearer. You will be a deliverer of the poor and the downtrodden." And he blesses him. Child Dada comes back and he sleeps on the bed wearing his cardigan. The next morning, when the mother sees the blanket missing and the child sleeping with the cardigan, she waits for the child to get up and then she asks him, "My child, where is your blanket?" And when little Dada narrates the incident to her, the mother's eyes too are touched with tears and she marvels at his tender heart. Our most beloved Gurudev, Sadhu Vaswani, and beloved Dada's father were brothers, but they shared a very close and a loving relationship. Sadhu Vaswani would therefore visit their house very frequently, and young child Dada felt irresistibly drawn to him. In fact, if Sadhu Vaswani would not come for a long period, he would wait, he would feel restless. When is Sadhu Vaswani going to come to our house? As I said, this link, this bond kept on growing. And I'm reminded of a parable of Jesus, which I'm sure many of you have heard. Jesus often narrated this parable of a farmer. He said every farmer, when they plant seeds, some seeds, they fall on hard ground and they are eaten up by the birds. Some seeds, they fall on shallow soil. Of course, they sprout immediately, but they wither soon because their roots are shallow. But some seeds fall on fertile ground and they grow up into a rich harvest. These seeds multiply not tenfold, not 50-fold, but 100-fold. Observing young Dada's spiritual inclinations, Sadhu Vaswani found in his heart a fertile soil in which he went on sowing seeds of spirituality. He knew with his care and nurturing, one day these seeds will grow up into a towering tree under which we all will seek refuge, and we all are continuing to seek refuge and solace. And this link, as I said, between the two kept on growing from more to more. Sadhu Vaswani would pass on to him so many teachings, and young Dada would not only listen to those teachings, he would reflect on them, he would internalize them, and he would make them a part of their life. He would try to translate every teaching into action. Soon Dada graduates with flying colors. But despite his achievements, accolades, and all these honors, they do not attract him. He longs to spend more and more time with his master. One day, when the master and the disciple are sitting together, Sadhu Vaswani looks at young Dada lovingly, and with his piercing look, he says to him, "It is commendable, it is amazing that in such a short period of time you have acquired great knowledge, vast knowledge of the world around you. But how much do you know of the world within you?" And young Dada looks at Sadhu Vaswani in amazement. And Sadhu Vaswani continues, "My child, yes, you know so much of the world around you, but unless you know who you are, what is the purpose of your life, unless you know your real self, your true self, your eternal self, maybe you have acquired lots of knowledge, vast knowledge, but you know nothing. Therefore, now spend your time in acquiring that true knowledge." Immediately, within a few seconds, young Dada, he realizes the futility of all his achievements. It was impressed upon him that now he could achieve everything that he desired, and suddenly everything in front of his eyes seemed so pale, so insignificant. He immediately falls down at Sadhu Vaswani's feet. He says, "I want to realize the purpose of my life. I do not want to drift away from my goal. Pray, show me the way. Accept me at your lotus feet." And Sadhu Vaswani picks him up and embraces him. And what was there in that embrace? As I said, this relationship keeps on growing, and our beloved Dada keeps on making rapid strides on the spiritual path. One day, when the two of them are sitting together, once again Sadhu Vaswani says to him, "Remember, you are a pilgrim. You are a pilgrim, and your pilgrimage is to the eternal, where is your true home. Therefore, give not your heart to the world. Give your heart to God. Love Him with all your mind and heart and soul, and share the good things of life with those that are in need of comfort." And beloved Dada keeps on absorbing every word of the Master. Now, beloved Dada practices various disciplines. He silences his thoughts, he silences his emotions, he plumbs into the depths within. He lives life as an observer, just observing everything. And as I said, he sees that he translates every word of the Master into action. One day Sadhu Vaswani said to him, there are 4 types of people. The first type of people, they don't even feel the need of God. They are so happy with what the world provides them. The second type, they go sometimes to the temple, sometimes to the satsang, but they are again and again drawn to the world. They are drawn by negative influences. Negative influences pull them away. There are the third type. They go to the satsang, they realize the value of the satsang, they try to imbibe the satsang in their day-to-day life, but they lack focus, they lack concentration, they lack perseverance. But there is the fourth type. Once they find a guru, that becomes their focus. That becomes their priority. That becomes the goal of their life. And that was Dada. Everything, his entire life revolved around the Guru. He was totally absorbed in the Guru until the day came when he became one with the Guru. He was united with the Guru. Today, I do not have the time to give you incidents of that oneness, of that mingling. I need not even say that if I were to narrate those incidents to you, time would stand still. But beloved Dada, his every breath, his every thought, his every cell, his every word, his every action was filled with the Guru. Even his every dream was of the Guru. One day, I remember as a child, I asked Dada, I said to him, Dada, will you please narrate to me one of your dreams? And Dada gave me a beautiful smile and he said, I will narrate to you a meaningful dream. And Dada said to me, in a dream, what do I see? I see Sadhu Vaswani. And Sadhu Vaswani is standing amidst a construction site. All around him are bricks, are steel rods, are cement. And I wonder, I say, why is Sadhu Vaswani standing on a construction site? But when I draw near to Sadhu Vaswani, I see that the bricks are glowing with light. The steel rods are emanating light. Cement is sparkling with light. It's glowing with light. And I ask Dada, what are you doing here? And Sadhu Vaswani looks at me lovingly and he says to Dada, to our beloved Dada, I have been given the task of building a new world, a new temple of joy, an abode of freedom. And I want people who will be builders. I want true builders who will dedicate their lives to building this temple, who will come and help me in building this temple of freedom. And our beloved Dada says to Sadhu Vaswani, Master, I am there. We all are there for you. You just command. And our hands are your hands. Our hearts are your hearts. And Sadhu Vaswani once again looks lovingly at our most beloved Dada and says to him, my child, if you wish to build a new world, you will have to build your life first. You will have to arm yourself. You will have to become capable. And Dada asks Sadhu Vaswani, what must I do? And Sadhu Vaswani tells him, you must think noble thoughts. You must speak kind, loving, gentle words. And all your actions should be for the good of others. And beloved Dada looks at me and he says, my child, this is beloved Dada's message to each one of us. Let all our thoughts be noble thoughts. Let every word that we utter be kind, be sweet, be loving, be gentle. And let every action we perform be for the good of others, be for the good of mankind, be for the good of all humanity. And today I felt this is the message that beloved Dada is giving to each and every one of us. And on the sacred day, the Mahayagna day of our most beloved Dada, I request you all to kindly bless me and pray for me that I may in deeds of daily living bear witness to this triple teaching which was given to me by my most beloved Dada. I seek your blessings, Dada Shah.